Good morning, my dear students. I welcome you to the second video. We had seen the necklace. So today we are going to see the remaining part of this necklace. So here is the story of the Mathilde, one of the pretty and charming girl. So here is we have seen Mathilde and her husband got the invitation, the Russell's company at the ministry on the evening of Monday, January 18th. But what happened, she had a problem, she didn't have a nice dress, and so that's why she was upset. And so her husband said that why the dress you go to the theater in, it seems very nice to me. So he stopped, stunned, distressed to see his wife crying. He stuttered, "What's the matter? Let's see, Mathilde, how much would your suitable dress cost?" So she didn't have the dress, that's why she was obsessed, she was distressed. And so when he was distressed to see his wife crying, he stuttered, "What's the matter?" Means he stuttered, he spoke with difficulty, and so he asked with fumbling, "Oh, what is the matter? Why are you crying? Let's see, Mathilde, how much would your suitable dress cost? Okay, if you want to buy a dress, then how much would your suitable dress cost? How much cost do you want?" Who asked? Mathilde's husband. She thought for a moment, computing the cost and also wondering what amounts she would ask for without an immediate refusal. At last she answered hesitantly, "I don't know exactly, but I think I could do it with 400 francs." When her husband asked about the cost of the suitable dress cost, so she thought for a moment. She had taken some time for thinking, and she computed the cost, and she answered that I could do with 400 francs. 400 francs, that is the currency. So she said, "I don't know exactly, but I think I would do it with 400 francs. So that much cost will be suitable for me." And she asked her husband. He turned a little pale because he had been saving that exact amount to buy a gun for hunting summer. So that much amount only he had, and so that's why he turned a little pale. He became nervous. He became pale because what amount asked by his wife, so that much amount he had, and because he kept saving for buying the gun for hunting summer in the country near Nanenter with a few friends. However, he said, "Very well, I can give you 400 francs, but try and get a really beautiful dress." So it doesn't matter, he said to his wife, and he said, "Okay, very well, I can give 400 rupees, 400 francs, but you should try and get a really beautiful dress." The day of the party drew near, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, restless, and anxious, though her dress was ready. One evening her husband said to her, "What's the matter? You have been acting strange these last 3 days." She replied, "I am upset that I have no jewels, not a single stone to wear. I would rather not go to the party." So one evening her husband said to her, "What is the matter? You have been acting strange these last 3 days. Means you have been doing such a strange acting from last 3 days. I am observing you. So what is the matter?" Who asked her husband. And so she replied, "I am upset that I have no jewels. I don't have any ornaments. And that is why she said not a single stone to wear." So it is a hyperbole, that means a single stone to wear. I would rather not go to the party. Otherwise, I would not go to the party because I don't have any jewels, I don't have any ornaments, and so how I will look, how I will be there without jewels. You could wear flowers, he said, they are very fashionable at this time of year. So he said, if you don't have the ornaments, if you don't have the jewels, so you could wear flowers because this is the correct season for flowers and you will look very beautiful if you wear such a flowers and very fashionable at this time for year of year. She was not convinced, but with this statement, she was not satisfied. She was not convinced. The next day, she went to her friend's house and told her of her distress. But what happened? She was not satisfied with the answer of her husband, and so she went to her friend's house and told her about her distress, about her unhappiness, about her sadness, because she was distressed because she didn't have any ornaments, she didn't have any jewels to wear because she had to go to the party. Madame Foster went to her mirrored wardrobe, took out a large box, brought it back, opened it, and said to the Madame Lucille. So Madame Foster went to her mirrored wardrobe. So mirrored wardrobe, that is the mirrored wardrobe, and she took out a large box and she brought it back, opened it, and said to Mrs. Lucille, choose, my dear. So first Mathilde saw some bracelets, then a pearl necklace. She tried to own the jewelry in the mirror. So she tried every necklace, every bracelets and pearl necklace, what the ornaments had in the box, and she tried on the jewelry in the mirror. She was trying and she was looking in the mirror how she looks. She kept asking, you have nothing else? But her friend kept asking, you don't like it, you don't like all this? Why? Yes, but I don't know what you like. If you don't like anything of this, so what do you like? She asked. Suddenly she discovered in a black stained box a superb diamond necklace, and her heart began to beat with uncontrolled desire. You know what she given the first box and what the jewelry in that, she didn't like anything of this. But when her friend take out another box, and suddenly when she saw a super diamond necklace, so her heart began to beat with uncontrolled desire. She was so happy to see such a diamond necklace. Her hands trembled as they took it. She fastened it around her neck and stood lost in ecstasy as she looked at herself. So she tried that necklace. She fastened it around her neck and stood lost in state as she looked at herself. Then she asked, anxiously hesitating, would you lend me this justice? And when she fastened it around its neck, and when she looked in the mirror, then she said, her friend, so would you lend me this? Why, yes, of course. Oh dear, of course, she said, why not? She threw her arms around her friend's neck irrefutably, then fled with her treasure. And when she tried the necklace fastened around her neck, and she looked into the mirror, and she asked her friend, so would you lend me? She said, okay, no, why not? Yes, surely. And so she threw her arms around her friend's neck and joyfully, and then fled with the treasure. The day of the party arrived. The Mrs. Lucille was a success. She was prettier than all the other women, elegant, gracious, smiling, and full of joy. And so, lastly, the day The day of the party arrived. The Mrs. Solasil was a success. She was prettier than all the other women, elegant, gracious, smiling, and full of joy. So she was looking so prettier, she was looking so beautiful than all the other women, because she wore a diamond necklace, and so she was so happy. She was so happy, elegant, gracious, and smiling and full of joy. She danced wildly with passion, forgetting everything in the triumph of her beauty and success, floating in a cloud of happiness. So, with wearing such a nice that diamond necklace, she danced wildly, with joyfully, with passion, and forgetting everything in the triumph of her beauty and success. So, floating in a cloud of happiness means no new means she was so happy. Means there was no limitation for her happiness. So, and with the happiness she danced widely. Mathilde and her husband left at about 4 o'clock in the morning. When they were finally in the street, they could not find a cab. They walked down toward the scene till they found one. They were dropped off at their door in the Rue des Maîtres, and sadly it was all over for her. And when the party over, so Mathilde and her husband left at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and when they were finally in the street, they could not find a cab. Cab means that is a taxi. So when they returned from the party and when they come to the street, so they were finding for the taxi, for the cab, but they didn't get, and that's why they walked down toward the scene. Until they found one, they were dropped off at their door in the Rue des Maîtres, and sadly it was all over for her. But actually finally they got the taxi and they came to their house. But what was the sadness for them? Because almost it was all over for her, because in front of the mirror she took a final look at herself in all her glory, but suddenly she uttered a cry. She no longer had the necklace around her neck. And when they returned from the party and when they come to their house, and when she stood in front of the mirror, she looked in the mirror and she took a final look at herself in all her glory. But suddenly what happened? She uttered a cry, and suddenly she started to cry. She no longer had the necklace around her head. She didn't find that necklace, diamond necklace, around her neck, and suddenly she started to cry. What is the matter? Asked her husband. So without knowing the husband, he didn't have any idea about that, and so that's why he asked her, what is the matter? Why are you crying? She turned towards him, panic-stricken with a sudden feeling of fear. I have no longer, ma'am, Mrs. Forrester's necklace. He stood up, distraught. What? How? That's impossible. And when she found herself that she didn't have the diamond necklace around her neck, so she started to cry, and she said, I have no longer Mrs. Forrester's necklace. And he stood up, distraught. Distraught means distracted, confused, in mind crazed, and distraught. What? How? That's impossible, her husband said. So that is the end of this first part of the necklace.